Have you ever wondered why an ancient city suddenly disappears, and how the secrets that shake people's hearts are hidden behind its disappearance? Today, let's step into the mysterious Sanxingdui civilization and explore the mysteries of history. In August 1986, in the now, two sacrificial pit at the Sanxingdui site in Guanghan City, Sichuan Province, archaeologists discovered 6 bronze sacred trees with a height of 95 meters. These sacred trees are not only magnificent, but also a unique dragon is carved in the center of the trunk. The dragon head is upside down. The body is wrapped like a braided rope. The front paws are lying on the tree pedestal. The back paws are like human hands, and the body is also hung with knife-like wings. The mysterious branches are inlaid with 9 birds and 27 fruits, which seems to suggest the deep meaning of 9 days in the lower branches, all of which show the ancient people's unique understanding of the mysteries of the universe. What is even more incredible is that the minerals used in the bronze were unearthed in Sanxingdui are completely different from those in the Central Plains, which is in sharp contrast to the level of smelting technology at that time. The undecipherable ancient characters in the ruins, coupled with the sudden disappearance of the ancient city without any trace of war, make people think, is it the intervention of alien civilizations? Or is it the mysterious lost 10 tribes in the Bible? Or is it hiding the truth of human history that has been tampered with? What are the secrets hidden in these mysterious discoveries? Why are modern archaeologists always cautious about further excavating the Sanxingdui ruins? In the following discussion, we will gradually uncover the mystery of the Sanxingdui civilization and compare it with other unsolved mysteries around the world, trying to find the resonance and secrets that travel through time and space. Please continue to pay attention and explore this legendary ancient civilization together. In the autumn of 2023, an ancient site in Sichuan Province was accidentally discovered by archaeologists. The discovery of a bronze statue shocked the archaeological world. Its face was very different from the typical image of the Central Plains culture. Soaring cheekbones, huge protruding eyes, large ears, giving people an indescribable sense of strangeness. After weeks of excavation, the archaeological team finally lifted the veil of the ancient statue after the discovery of the statue near the Sanxingdui site. However, in the face of this bizarre bronze artwork, archaeologists are confused. What exactly is it? Is it a sacrificial artifact, a statue of a tribal leader, or a relic of contact with an alien civilization? The face of this unusually ancient bronze figure is surprisingly different from the traditional sculpture image of the Central Plains. The face's high cheekbones, huge eye sockets, prominent eyeballs and ears are simply out of our imagination of human images. The unearthing of this bronze statue shocked all the archaeologists. In their memory, they had never seen such a bizarre sculpture. Compared with the traditional bronze ware of the Central Plains culture, the shape and details of this statue are different everywhere, and even remind people of some alien images. What is even more bizarre is that the face of the bronze statue is very similar to the alien image in some ancient legends. After repeated research and analysis, archaeologists have found that this bronze statue is not only technically puzzling, but also the search for cultural background is an endless puzzle. Its face is very expressive, like an ancient god, with some indescribable power. What is even more shocking is that the material, production process, and design style of the statue obviously do not fully match the bronze culture of the time. The mystery of the Sanxingdui site is far beyond the imagination of these archaeologists. Although the unearthed bronzes are stylistically different from the traditional culture of the Central Plains, they are still identified as part of the ancient Shu civilization. However, the bronze artworks feel extremely detached, as if they came from an unknown world. With further archaeological work, bronze masks unearthed by Sanxingdui also began to surface. The shape of these metal masks was equally striking, and many archaeologists speculated whether this meant that the ancient Shu civilization had contact with some kind of alien civilization, or the strange faces reflected in these masks and statues were the images of gods in the eyes of the ancient Shu people. All of this could not be explained by traditional historical views, leaving countless suspense. Since ancient times, myths around the world have been filled with gods and inhumans of various shapes. In ancient Chinese texts, there are also many references to some gods or figures with abnormal appearance. Among them, the Sanxingdui, an ancient mythological book, records a large number of stories about inhumans. These inhumans often have unusual physical characteristics, such as huge eyes, strange faces, and even non-human body shapes. Could the inhumans depicted in these myths be the prototype of Sanxingdui bronze figures? The account in the Sanxingdui is reminiscent of these bronzes unearthed in Sanxingdui, especially when it describes the Zongying man, which says, "Those who have Zongying eyes have great eyes, and the gods are also good at exercising them." In the eyes of the ancient people, these gods were extraordinary beings. Their eyes were not just tools for perceiving the world, but also a symbol of their ability to communicate with the gods and see into the future. Looking at the figure of the man, it was almost the same as the face of the bronze figure of Sanxingdui. Archaeologists speculated that this bronze figure might not be just a work of art, but its existence might be the core of the sacrificial rituals of the ancient Shu civilization, representing a symbol of some mysterious power. Some scholars also suggested that this peculiar face might represent the fear and worship of mysterious creatures by humans at that time. Perhaps these aliens were not the ancestors of the ancient Shu civilization, but rather existences from the distant sky. Similar accounts can be found not only in the Book of Mountains and Seas, but also in other ancient texts. For example, the legend of King Yu in the Book of Great Yuan and Great Unification refers to a bead-like, inhuman, who had powerful powers and could control floods. This description coincides with the huge eyes of the Sanxingdui bronze figure, which seems to suggest that humans were in contact with a being with supernatural powers at that time. This description of inhumans may not only be a simple imagination of supernatural phenomena, it may reflect a kind of cognition of outsiders in society at that time. These outsiders may be civilizations with higher wisdom, or they may have imparted some advanced technology and knowledge to the ancients in some way. Perhaps it was these outsiders who influenced the culture and technology of the ancient Shu civilization, and even passed down through myths and stories, becoming gods in the hearts of future generations. In addition, Sanxingdui also mentions some mythological figures whose physical features are also similar to the bronze figures unearthed in Sanxingdui. For example, Shenong, and various other mysterious ancient figures. Many scholars believe that these figures are not just ancient symbols of supernatural powers, but perhaps behind their images, ancient human imagination and worship of alien civilizations. Similar images of inhumans have appeared in other ancient civilizations around the world, further raising the possibility of a potential link between the Sanxingdui bronze figures and extraterrestrial civilizations. Whether Sumerian, Mayan, or Egyptian, there are mysterious statues and masks that exhibit facial features similar to the Sanxingdui bronze figures. Most of these sculptures are believed to be incarnations of gods, representing non-human intelligence and power, as if to remind future generations that ancient people had come into contact with some kind of advanced being. Sumerian statues of gods, often with disproportionately large eyes and unusual facial features, are among the earliest cultural relics. These statues not only represent gods, but are also believed to be aliens or beings who have come into contact with alien civilizations. In the face of these statues, the eyes almost occupy the main part of the face, as if possessing some kind of extraordinary vision and insight. Compared with the huge eyes and prominent faces of the Sanxingdui bronze figures, The Sumerian statues are almost twins. In the Sumerian Epic of Gilgamesh, there is also a story of the arrival of the gods. Legend has it that the gods came through the sky to give human knowledge and wisdom and help them develop civilization. The images of these gods often have extraordinary characteristics, not only the strangeness of appearance, but also the knowledge and power they bring, which is strikingly similar to the vision shown by the bronze figures of Sanxingdui. The Mayan god Quetzalcoatl is another alien deity who resembles the bronze figure of Sanxingdui. The face of the feathered serpent also shows some non-human characteristics, especially its wide-open eyes, which are often described as possessing extraordinary insight. The feathered serpent is not only a symbol of wisdom, but also a messenger from the stars. Mayan mythology mentions that the feathered serpent god descended from the sky and brought knowledge of agriculture, calendars, and languages, all of which seem to bear some resemblance to the emergence of the Sanxingdui civilization and its advanced bronze-making technology. The feathered serpent gods in the Mayan civilization symbolize their connection with the stars through the wings in the sky, and the huge eyes and extraordinary faces of the bronze figures of Sanxingdui seem to remind us that these gods may not be just human imagination, but really come from the distant starry sky. Many gods in Egyptian civilization, such as Horus and Osiris, were also depicted as having some non-human characteristics, especially in some murals and sculptures. The faces of the gods were often not bound by human standards, and the exaggeration of the eyes even exceeded that of real-life humans. This image once again formed a strong similarity with the bronze portraits of Sanxingdui. In Egyptian mythology, gods were often closely associated with the father of the sky or mother of the sky, who were believed to have descended from the sky. The ancient Egyptians believed that the gods in the universe were not just the forces that created the world, but their appearance changed life and culture on Earth. Egyptian pyramids, temples, and other mysterious structures may also have been linked to the influence of this extraterrestrial intelligence. The striking similarity between the bronze figures of Sanxingdui and the sculptures of gods in other civilizations around the world raises an intriguing question. Did these ancient civilizations ever have some kind of connection across time and space? Did civilizations around the world come into contact with extraterrestrial beings in some way at some point? Whether through direct contact or through cultural transmission and sharing, these mysterious statues and masks seem to silently tell an ancient story. Humans have interacted with certain interstellar beings. This phenomenon has inspired the theory of ancient extraterrestrial contact. Proponents of the theory suggest that the images of these ancient civilizations may not have been derived entirely from human imagination, but rather have been passed down through alien cultural symbols. Perhaps in the distant past, civilizations around the world have somehow come into contact with intelligent life from outer space, perhaps through direct contact or through some mysterious form of communication. These extraterrestrial intelligences have shaped human history by imparting technology, culture, and knowledge to civilizations on Earth. In discussions of extraterrestrial contact, proponents often cite myths, legends, and archaeological findings as possible evidence of extraterrestrial contact with Earth. For example, in many ancient texts, we can find accounts of descending gods or interstellar messengers. For example, the Sumerians called their gods descended from the sky, bringing advanced knowledge of writing, mathematics, astronomy, and architecture. The feathered serpent gods of the Mayan civilization also descended from the sky, bringing knowledge of agriculture, calendars, and astronomy. These myths refer to gods who descended from the sky or came from the sky and often possess superhuman knowledge and abilities, which is consistent with the assumption of alien civilizations. If these extraterrestrial beings exist and have had contact with ancient civilizations on Earth, then the gods in these cultures may be their incarnations or messengers. In addition, some archaeological discoveries also provide support for the theory of extraterrestrial contact. For example, the pyramids of ancient Egypt, the observatories of the Maya, and the Vimana, description of the aircraft. In ancient India, the construction and technology of these buildings and objects are beyond the level of science known on Earth at the time. Some scholars believe that these buildings and technologies may have been imparted to Earth by alien civilizations, because in these ancient civilizations, we have discovered many wonders that cannot be explained by the technology of the time. The giant eyes and strange faces of the Sanxingdui bronze figures undoubtedly resonate in some way with the images of aliens depicted in other ancient civilizations. In these civilizations, there are often accounts of gods descending from the sky or interstellar emissaries. For example, the Egyptian god Hermes was such an interstellar god who was depicted as possessing great wisdom and power, as if from a distant planet. In the mythology of the Mayan civilization, the image of the feathered serpent god was not only a symbol of wisdom and power, but also a symbol of interstellar travel. The appearance of these gods does not seem to be simple myths and legends, but rather a record of some real event. Similar to the faces of the bronze figures of Sanxingdui, the figures of these gods often have strong superhuman features, such as huge eyes, unusual facial contours, and even mysterious ritual decorations with an alien feel. In addition, many archaeologists have noted that the bronze figures unearthed at Sanxingdui are not just works of art. Their forms, proportions, and symbolism may also suggest a connection across space and time. As these bronze figures show, their images are not entirely in line with traditional human aesthetics. They seem to be sending us some kind of interstellar signal. Perhaps the design of these figures is exactly how the ancient Shu civilization tried to express contact with extraterrestrial visitors. In addition to sculptures and masks, the Sanxingdui site also unearthed a large number of gold, jade, and other artifacts, which show extraordinary craftsmanship and design, far exceeding the level of technology known on Earth at the time. Some scholars believe that these exquisite artifacts may have been the technology and inspiration of the ancient Shu civilization after its contact with alien civilizations. The complexity and precision of these crafts not only amazed archaeologists, but also gave rise to speculation about extraterrestrial civilizations. Their shapes are completely different from the artistic styles of other civilizations, as if they were brought from other planets. Do these cultural heritages represent communication with extraterrestrial civilizations? Perhaps it is the influence of these extraterrestrial civilizations that has made Sanxingdui such a brilliant and mysterious civilization. In the autumn of 2023, an ancient site in Sichuan province was accidentally discovered by archaeologists. The discovery of a bronze statue shocked the archaeological world. Its face was very different from the typical image of the Central Plains culture. Soaring cheekbones, huge protruding eyes, large ears, giving people an indescribable sense of strangeness. After weeks of excavation, the archaeological team finally lifted the veil of the ancient statue after the discovery of the statue near the Sanxingdui site. However, in the face of this bizarre bronze artwork, archaeologists are confused. What exactly is it? Is it a sacrificial artifact, a statue of a tribal leader, or a relic of contact with an alien civilization? The face of this unusually ancient bronze figure is surprisingly different from the traditional sculpture image of the Central Plains. The face's high cheekbones, huge eye sockets, prominent eyeballs and ears are simply out of our imagination of human images. In addition to the bronze statue, Sanxingdui also unearthed many incredible cultural relics. A pure gold mask, with its eyes protruding outward and its pupils like pillars, as if it had penetrated thousands of years of time, looking straight into the unknown distance. The discovery of this mask not only shocked the archaeological community, but also dropped a depth bomb in the long river of human civilization. Its eyes, known as vertical eyes, are an extremely rare artistic expression. The eyeballs protrude outward and the pupils extend like cylinders, as if they are not mortal eyes, but something beyond human vision. Most of Sanxingdui's bronze masks have this eye-piercing feature, especially those huge and exaggerated bronze figures. Their eyes are not simple decorations, but seem to contain some kind of mysterious religion or cosmology. Some scholars speculate that these masks may have been sacred objects worn by priests in the ancient Shu kingdom during sacrifices to channel the mind. What's even more amazing is that these masks do not exist in isolation. In the distant Mayan civilization, the image of the rain god Kukulkan also had exaggerated eyes, known as the god of tears. The Mayans believed that the god's tears could bring rain and nourish the earth, and his eyes also took on a supernatural form, as if he could see through time and space. In the ancient Chinese book Shanhai Jing, there is a record of a god named Candle Dragon. The human face is serpent, red, and the body is thousands of miles long. Its meditation is dark, and its vision is clear. When its eyes are opened, the world is day. When closed, it is night. This emphasis on the eyes coincides with the image of Sanxingdui's Zongye. Could it be that the Candle Dragon is not a myth, but a memory of some ancient civilization? Or the ancestors of Sanxingdui once witnessed some kind of existence beyond human understanding and engraved its image into bronze, which has been passed down to this day. Even more eerie was the appearance of similar images in the ruins of the Sumerian civilization in far-flung West Asia. The big-eyed priest, statue worshipped by the Sumerians, had the same exaggerated protruding eyes, as if gazing into some realm beyond the reach of mortals. The Sumerians believed that these priests could communicate with the gods, and their eyes were the symbol of the eyes of the gods. Was this similarity across continents and civilizations a coincidence, or some forgotten ancient connection? Modern archaeology generally believes that direct communication between ancient civilizations was difficult due to geo-blocking. However, the records in Sanxingdui, Maya, Sumer, and the Book of Mountains and Seas seem to tell a different story. Some scholars have suggested that in ancient times, there may have been a highly developed network of civilizations on Earth, which communicated in some unknown way and may even be guided by the same mysterious force. And the image of Zongye may be a symbol of this network, a celestial eye that transcends human vision and can glimpse the truth of the universe. A more audacious theory is that these eyes are not the product of human imagination, but real observers. Some researchers have suggested that Sanxingdui's bronze masks may be depictions of extraterrestrial creatures whose eyes are adapted to different light or dimensions, giving them exaggerated forms. If that was the case, then did the civilization behind these masks ever come into contact with some kind of advanced life form? And was the distance that Zongye was staring at the other side of the Sea of Stars? To this day, the mystery of Sanxingdui's eyes has not been fully solved. Each new archaeological discovery adds more questions than answers. What are these eyes looking at? Is it the kingdom of the gods or the mystery of the universe? Is it an ancient memory or a prophecy of the future? Perhaps the answer was hidden beneath those undiscovered layers of soil, waiting to be discovered by another pair of eyes one day. Under the ancient ruins of Sanxingdui, there is still a 3,000-year-old divine tree sleeping. Its existence quietly awakens human curiosity about the unknown world. This 95-meter tall bronze divine tree unearthed at the Sanxingdui site in Guanghan, Sichuan province, is made of bronze with exquisite decoration and complex structure, as if it did not belong to the human world. It is not a tree that can be seen in the real world, but more like a pillar of the universe that spans heaven and earth, standing in the fog of time, waiting for some ancient secret to be revealed. The most stunning thing is its shape. The trunk of the tree of God was sturdy and divided into 3 layers. Each layer had thick branches that stretched out like 9 giant arms, holding the sky high. The entire tree of God did not grow upright, but with subtle bends, as if it catered to some invisible force in the world. And in the center of the tree of God, a strange dragon coiled up. This dragon was very different from the dragon we know in future generations. Its dragon head was facing down, as if it was staring at the earth or the world in the dark, and its body was twisted like a braided rope, wrapped in layers on the trunk. What was even more surprising was that its hind claws were not sharp claws, but actually resembled human palms, as if giving it an unusual wisdom and spirituality. On both sides of the dragon body, there was also a pair of sword-shaped wings hanging, like birds and blades, which made people wonder, is it a messenger of God or a guardian across heaven and earth? 9 divine birds of various shapes perched on the branches of the divine tree, arranged in an orderly manner, overlooking the earth. Accompanying the 9 divine birds, there are also 27 fruits, neatly distributed between the branches. The 9 birds and the 27 fruits are not simple decorations, and seem to contain some kind of grand astronomical and mythological code behind them. The ancients once said that there were 9 suns in the sky that took turns shining on the world, and the divine bird was the embodiment of the sun, perched on the divine tree. Are these 9 divine birds the shadows of the 9 days? And the 27 fruits happen to coincide with a number of stars in the ancient Eastern 27 constellations. Does it also suggest ancient observations of the movement of stars and the change of solar terms? This bronze divine tree seemed to carry an ancient and mysterious view of the universe. The ancients believed that there was a tree of the world between heaven and earth. The root of the tree was in the underworld, and the crown of the tree was high up to the heavenly court. God's divine beasts, the sun, the moon, and the stars all attached to it and traveled between heaven and earth. This tree was called the cosmic axis, or the world tree. In Eastern mythology, it was called Jianmu, Fuso, and Romu. It was not only a bridge between gods and humans, but also a ladder leading to the fairyland and the underworld. The bronze divine tree of Sanxingdui was undoubtedly the reproduction of this cosmic axis in reality. What's more intriguing is that in the distant Norse mythology, there's also an awesome world tree, Yggdrasil. It is also a divine tree that crosses the 9 realms and supports heaven and earth. Asgard, the country of giants and the underworld, where the gods live, all grow around it. And the Chinese Huainanzi also has the saying Jianmu. Jianmu was born in the vast field of the capital, reaching up to the sky and down to the earth. It seems that across the divide between culture and time and space, humanity's ancient concept of the universe has long since come to the same conclusion in their respective mythological systems. Sanxingdui's divine tree not only has the structure and symbol of the world tree, but also the casting process is incredible. From a modern perspective, its complex casting, welding, gold splitting, and other technologies are astounding. The complete divine tree is cleverly spliced by dozens of bronze parts, with tiny gaps and tight seams. Imagine how the ancients completed such exquisite masterpieces more than 3,000 years ago, when tools were extremely limited. This still puzzles archaeologists. And is this sacred tree just a symbol of religion and mythology? Some people have suggested that the bronze sacred tree of Sanxingdui may be an astronomical instrument, used to observe the trajectory of the sun and stars, and may even be the core of the ritual of the ancient Shu people to worship the celestial bodies in heaven and earth at that time. 9 birds and 27 fruits may be a set of precise celestial codes. Whenever night falls, the ancient Shu priests under the divine tree may have danced and prayed around it, looking up at the divine birds and stars on the branches of the divine tree, perceiving the rhythm of heaven and earth, and speculating on the meaning of heaven and earth. With the excavation of the bronze tree of God, the Sanxingdui civilization has also quietly lifted a mysterious veil. It allows us to re-examine whether those ancient worlds that were once covered in dust really exist as myths. Did they really talk to the stars and connect with heaven and earth? Perhaps The ancestors of Sanxingdui already knew the secrets of the universe, but they chose to cast these secrets into bronze in a mysterious and obscure way, hiding them in the labyrinth of time and space that belongs to them. When archaeologists discovered the golden staff in the black ashes of the Sanxingdui sacrificial pit, time seemed to freeze at this moment. The 42-meter-long scepter is wrapped in gold foil and still shines brightly after being buried for more than 3,000 years. The staff is engraved with mysterious patterns. The head of a person wearing a crown and the patterns of birds, fish and arrows are intertwined. The unearthing of this scepter has cast a more mysterious veil on the Sanxingdui civilization. The scepter has long been a symbol of kingship in the world's great civilizations. Pharaoh of Egypt held a serpent staff, King Solomon held a golden staff, and Zeus of ancient Greece used it to express his power. But the staff of Sanxingdui is particularly special. It was found in a sacrificial pit rather than a palace, and no architectural remains related to secular kingship were found around it. This raises the question of whether it was held by a mortal king or a priest who knew the will of God. What's more intriguing is that the embellishments on the staff seem to have hidden mysteries. The man wearing the crown's head and eyes are wide open, just like Sanxingdui's famous vertical eye mask. The bird and fish patterns may symbolize the communication between heaven and earth, and the arrow suggests some kind of mysterious power. Is the combination of these symbols telling an ancient belief that has been lost? Archaeologists have noticed a curious phenomenon. The Sanxingdui site has unearthed a large number of sacrificial items, but few architectural remains related to secular life. This is in sharp contrast to the equivalent of the Ain ruins. In Ain ruins, the magnificent palace ruins and sacrificial pits coexist, clearly demonstrating a social structure that places equal emphasis on royal and divine power. What does this situation in Sanxingdui suggest? Some scholars have made a bold hypothesis. There may be a theocratic society with the priesthood as the core. In this society, the high priest with the golden staff may be the real ruler. They communicate with the gods through mysterious religious rituals and then control the direction of the entire civilization. A closer look at the embellishment of the golden staff reveals that it contains amazing mathematical laws. The 4 main patterns are repeated at specific intervals, and this arrangement is strikingly similar to some calculations in the ancient astronomical calendar. Is it just a coincidence that a similar mathematical code appeared on the golden staff of the Mayan civilization? What's even more puzzling is that the length of the golden staff is 42 meters, which is exactly an integer multiple of the sacred wrist ruler of ancient Egypt. This discovery has led some researchers to wonder, in ancient times, did there exist a system of sacred weights and measures across continents? And were the priests of Sanxingdui also part of this mysterious knowledge network? Compared with the golden scepter of Sanxingdui, it is necessary to mention the same mysterious Egyptian pharaohs of serpent staff and King Solomon's golden staff. The serpent staff of the Egyptian pharaoh symbolizes the control of life and death by the pharaoh, and the serpent, as a symbol of ancient Egyptian gods, represents the pharaoh's control over the natural and supernatural world. King Solomon's golden staff is considered a symbol of wisdom and power. According to the Bible, King Solomon's golden staff was given by God and symbolizes the supreme wisdom and authority bestowed by God. The design of the Sanxingdui golden scepter is very similar to these famous scepters, especially in the commonality of totem forms. The snake-shaped pattern can represent not only the cycle of life and death, but also the transformation of divine power. However, this design seems to be given a more mysterious meaning in the cultural background of Sanxingdui. One puzzling finding is that no large palace remains have been found at Sanxingdui, or that archaeologists have so far been unable to find a clear palace structure. The discovery is a huge challenge to the traditional model of ancient civilization. It is common sense that a civilization with such luxurious and complex cultural relics must have a large palace or residential area. However, Sanxingdui ruins reveal scattered and even bewildering architectural sites. This lack of symbols of secular kingship raises the question of whether Sanxingdui was ruled not by a secular king or a feudal ruler, but by a theocratic organization that transcended material power. This question has become the focus of scholars' long-term exploration. In fact, many scholars believe that the core of the Sanxingdui civilization may not be a secular kingdom led by a king, but a religious kingdom ruled by priests or deity representatives. The discovery of the Golden Scepter provides strong evidence for this hypothesis. The discovery of the Golden Scepter at Sanxingdui has forced a fresh look at the political and religious structures of ancient civilizations. In many ancient civilizations, theocracy and kingship were often intertwined, and in some civilizations, the rulers themselves were considered to be the incarnations of the gods, or the spokespeople of the gods. In ancient Egypt, for example, the pharaoh was regarded as a living god, not only the supreme ruler of the country, but also the representative of the gods. The scepter of the pharaoh symbolizes direct rule over the gods and represents the will of the gods. In ancient Mesopotamia and Maya civilizations, the rulers of many dynasties were also considered to be descendants or incarnations of the gods, and theocracy and kingship were inseparable. For Sanxingdui, is the Golden Scepter also a symbol of this intertwined divine and kingship? Does it mean that the ruler of Sanxingdui has a direct connection with the gods? Judging from the shape and decoration of the Golden Scepter, the message it conveys seems to be more of a symbol of religious priests than a simple symbol of kingship. The mystery of the serpentine pattern on the scepter suggests a power beyond the earth, and this power may not be limited to earthly rulers, but more of a power from heaven or supernatural. Around the world, many ancient civilizations have similar symbols of theocracy. For example, the feathered serpent god in the Mayan civilization, the snake god Earl in ancient Egypt, and even in ancient Chinese mythology, dragons and snakes are given sacred symbolic meaning. In these cultures, snake-shaped or dragon-shaped totems not only represent symbols of power, but are also regarded as mediators between gods and humans. Sanxingdui's Golden Scepter is similar to the totems in these cultures, especially the serpentine design, which may symbolize some kind of cross-cultural religious belief or cross-cultural theocratic connection. Sanxingdui's Golden Scepter seems to be not just an independent cultural relic. It may represent a global theocratic symbol, or it may be the legacy of a mysterious culture that connects ancient civilizations in different regions. Another possible explanation for the Golden Scepter is that it represented the power of the priestly class, which in many ancient civilizations held not only religious rituals, but also knowledge, wisdom, and social resources. The Golden Scepter, as a symbol of the priestly class in ancient Mesopotamia, Egypt, and the Maya, reflected this transcendent status. A large number of sacrificial objects unearthed in the Sanxingdui ruins, such as bronze, gold masks, jade, etc., have a strong religious nature, reflecting that the civilization may have attached great importance to religious sacrificial activities. The unearthing of these objects also further confirms the important position of the priestly class in Sanxingdui society. The Golden Scepter may be a symbol of this class, representing the priest's access and control over the gods. With the continuous advancement of technology, archaeologists' interpretation of the Sanxingdui site has also deepened. New research methods, such as carbon-14 determination, DNA analysis, and other technologies, have gradually revealed more of the Sanxingdui civilization. However, the interpretation of the Golden Scepter is still full of mystery. What exactly does the Golden Scepter represent? Is it really just a symbol of theocracy, or does it hide some kind of meaning beyond the times? Perhaps the Golden Scepter is not just a physical symbol of power. It may also be an ideological symbol. It may represent control over wisdom and divinity, not through blood and hereditary transmission, but through religious ceremonies and direct contact with the gods. This idea fits with the idea of kings of wisdom or spokespeople of the gods in many civilizations. With more archaeological research, the social structure and power system behind Sanxingdui will become clearer. The golden scepter, as a symbol of power, may play a key role in future research. Scholars will explore whether it is related to the theocratic priesthood or whether it is the product of some kind of global cultural exchange. The mystery of the Sanxingdui ruins, especially the divine information conveyed by the golden scepter, may become the focus of future research in archaeology and anthropology. And when we finally unravel the truth behind the golden scepter, we may find that the real kings are not simple secular rulers, but priests who master wisdom and mysterious power through communication with the gods. Sanxingdui's golden scepter has not only sparked extensive discussion in the field of archaeology, but its discovery and interpretation have even caused huge waves in the level of cultural identity. The excavation of the Sanxingdui site broke the traditional understanding of the origin of ancient Chinese civilization, especially the inherent concept of the culture of the Central Plains. When the golden scepter appeared in the public eye as a cultural symbol, it undoubtedly exacerbated the conflict of these perceptions. The narrative of ancient Chinese history has always emphasized the dominance of the Central Plains culture, and the discovery of Sanxingdui revealed a completely different face of civilization from the Central Plains. This contrast is not only astounding in archaeology, but also brings profound reflection on cultural inheritance. Some scholars believe that Sanxingdui's golden scepter may represent a cultural symbol that transcends time and place, that it may have some hidden connection with ancient civilizations around the world, or that it may be the product of an earlier cross-cultural exchange. This clash of cultural identities is not just a matter of region. It is also about our new interpretation of the origin of civilization. Another possible explanation is that the golden scepter may have represented the priestly class's control over society. In ancient civilizations, priests were often not just religious leaders, but also played a pivotal role in political, military, and social organization. The power of the priestly class did not come from secular military or economic power, but from divine authorization and religious ritual control. The appearance of the golden scepter may be a manifestation of this, symbolizing the priest's mastery of the divine and supernatural powers that gave them undisputed leadership. The Sanxingdui civilization has unearthed a large number of sacrificial objects, which are not only symbols of religion, but may carry more complex social structures behind them. How the priestly class used rituals and symbols to consolidate their social status is also reflected in other ancient civilizations. In ancient Egypt, for example, pharaohs were not just political leaders, but also incarnations of gods. In the Mayan civilization, the priestly class also maintained social order and checks and balances on kingship through the control of astronomy, prophecy, and gods. The golden scepter may have been part of the power symbol of this priestly class. It symbolized the sacred status of priests through rituals, myths, and religious stories. As the Sanxingdui site is further excavated, we may be able to reveal more secrets about the social structure behind this mysterious force. The unearthing of the golden scepter raises a deeper question. What exactly is a symbol of power? In the traditional understanding, the scepter is an instrument of domination in the material world, the exclusive mark of a king or leader. Its existence suggests that the bearer is the rightful ruler who has the power to dictate to his subjects. However, unlike these traditional forms of the scepter, the golden scepter appears to be more of a symbol beyond the material. It represents the sacred, the mysterious, and the power beyond the earthly. Was this scepter merely a secular political symbol? It may have represented a spiritual power beyond time and space at a deeper level. Perhaps its true meaning was not a symbol of the ruler, but a symbol of the divine power that the priestly class gained by communicating with the gods. The golden scepter may not have been an instrument of material power, but rather a medium of spiritual and supernatural power, symbolizing that the will of the gods was carried out through the priestly class. This transcendent material interpretation of the golden scepter bears striking similarities to the symbols of power found in many ancient civilizations. For example, the Egyptian pharaohs had material power, but their power was actually delegated by the gods. The pharaoh's scepter represented not only kingship, but also the will of the gods. In the context of Sanxingdui, is the golden scepter also a continuation of this symbol of power, or even an interpretation of an early theocracy? The mystery of the Sanxingdui golden scepter is not limited to the symbols of power on the ground. It may also be connected to a broader perspective of the universe. In many ancient civilizations, power and divinity were often associated with astronomical phenomena. Is the serpentine pattern on the golden scepter somehow related to constellations and astronomical phenomena? This may provide us with a deeper perspective on understanding the Sanxingdui civilization. The snake-shaped pattern was regarded as a symbol of mysterious power in many ancient civilizations. Especially in the Mayan civilization, the snake was regarded as a symbol of the god, feathered serpent god, representing the connection between heaven and earth. In ancient Egypt, the snake also often symbolized the cycle of life, death, and rebirth, and was even closely related to the changes of stars and celestial phenomena. Can we see similar astronomical symbols in the serpentine design of the Sanxingdui golden scepter, or the corresponding relationship with constellations and celestial phenomena? Some occultists and archaeologists have hypothesized that the golden scepter of Sanxingdui is closely related to certain celestial phenomena in the universe. It may represent some kind of understanding of the universe by ancient humans, or maybe a tool for them to interpret celestial phenomena through myths and religious ceremonies. Perhaps the golden scepter is not just a symbol of power on Earth. It is also connected to some kind of extraterrestrial wisdom or mysterious cosmic force. Another mystical explanation associated with the golden scepter is that it may be related to the existence of extraterrestrials or alien civilizations. In the myths of many ancient civilizations, gods are believed to have descended from the sky, and there are even some ancient civilization artifacts and buildings that are very similar to images of extraterrestrial creatures. The serpentine pattern on the Sanxingdui golden scepter may also be able to be interpreted from this perspective. This theory of extraterrestrial civilization has been proposed by some archaeologists and occultists as early as the mid-20th century, especially in the study of the technological and architectural achievements of ancient civilizations. Many scholars have raised the question of whether ancient civilizations had contact with extraterrestrial civilizations. Could the appearance of the golden scepter at the Sanxingdui site as a bizarre and unique object represent the influence of extraterrestrial culture or be related to the presence of extraterrestrial visitors? The close connection between the serpentine symbol of the golden scepter and ancient astronomy also provides some support for this hypothesis. Is there some hidden connection between astronomical phenomena, constellations, and serpentine totems? If there is a deeper cosmic intelligence hidden behind these symbols, does it mean that the Sanxingdui civilization had some contact with higher-level intelligent life? Another aspect that cannot be ignored is whether there is some mysterious connection between the golden scepter and global prophecies. There are prophecies about interstellar civilization or extraterrestrial visitors in different civilizations, such as the 2012 prophecy of the Mayan civilization or the Blue Star prophecy of the Hopi tribe. These prophecies all mention themes such as the change of the stars and the arrival of extraterrestrial visitors. The golden scepter at the Sanxingdui site may not just be a material symbol. It may also be a carrier of prophecy, symbolizing some kind of change beyond the material world. Is it a reminder that there will be some kind of extraterrestrial civilization in the future, or some kind of cosmic transformation? These mysteries may never be solved, but they undoubtedly add endless possibilities to the mystery of the Sanxingdui Golden Scepter. With the further excavation of the Sanxingdui site, the mystery represented by the Golden Scepter may gradually be lifted. However, the mystery of this Golden Scepter is far more than a simple symbol of power. The cultural symbol it carries may be a profound cosmic consciousness, an ancient wisdom, or even a harbinger of future civilization. The Golden Scepter at the Sanxingdui site may not only represent a theocracy symbol of a certain historical period in the past, but also a guide through time, pointing to a civilization and existence that we have not fully understood. In future research, this Golden Scepter may be used as a key clue to the true meaning of the Sanxingdui civilization. Perhaps it does not represent the ephemeral power of a dynasty, but the perpetual transmission of spirit and wisdom throughout the civilization. We may gain a new perspective on the relationship between humans and the universe, and may even uncover the ultimate secret of the alien or cosmic wisdom. The appearance of the Golden Scepter is not only a symbol of power, but also a profound reflection of the relationship between ancient priests and secular kingdoms. In many ancient civilizations, the priestly class often fought side by side with the monarch and jointly ruled the country. However, the relationship between priests and kingdoms is not simple cooperation. More often, they are full of subtle competition and checks and balances. If we delve into the social structure of Sanxingdui and the symbolism of the Golden Scepter, we will find that it may not only be a symbol of priestly power, but also a challenge to secular kingship by priests. In Sanxingdui ruins, although no large palace ruins have been found, this phenomenon does not fully match the traditional dynastic kingship structure of the Central Plains. Does the absence of grand palaces mean that Sanxingdui is not ruled by secular kingship in the traditional sense, but by the priestly class to control society through divine power? The appearance of the Golden Scepter may have been a symbolic challenge to kingship by the priestly class. It did not rely on material wealth and territorial expansion, but ensured its position through the control of religious and mystical forces. This idea is similar to the priestly class of ancient Egypt and the priestly system of the Mayan civilization. The priest status in ancient society often went beyond simple religious functions. They were not only the spokespeople of the gods, but also the wise men and managers of society. In the Sanxingdui civilization, the priestly class may hold ancient knowledge and wisdom, and even involve a deep understanding of the universe and natural phenomena. The Golden Scepter, as a symbol of priestly power, may be the embodiment of this wisdom and power beyond the material world. Judging from the decorations and patterns on the Golden Scepters, their design may contain some connection to astronomical phenomena, constellations, and even extraterrestrial intelligence. Through the understanding of these mysterious symbols, the priest was able to master social control and predict destiny. These powers did not come from traditional material wealth or political means, but from the priest's unique insight into the secrets of the universe. The symbolic significance of the Golden Scepter may be the embodiment of this supernatural power. It may represent not only the priestly class's control of religion and mythology, but also their profound understanding of cosmic order and astronomical phenomena. This wisdom may be a special legacy of ancient civilizations that has gradually been forgotten or obscured as history progresses. The discovery of the Golden Scepter is not just part of the Sanxingdui civilization. It also sheds light on the potential connections between ancient civilizations around the world. In ancient civilizations such as Egypt, the Maya, and Sumer, the scepter was also a symbol of kingship and divine power. The Egyptian pharaoh serpent staff, the Mayan feather snake god totem, and even King Solomon's golden staff all bear striking symbolic similarities to the Sanxingdui golden scepter. What these civilizations have in common may lie not only in their artistic style or pattern design, but also in the fact that they all regarded the scepter as a symbol of theocracy, connecting heaven and earth and God and man. In these ancient civilizations, the owner of the scepter was not only the ruler of the territory, but also the spokesperson for communicating with the gods and representing theocracy. Sanxingdui's golden scepter may be part of this cultural heritage. It symbolizes some kind of connection between ancient civilizations, a cultural exchange across time and space. This exchange may not be limited to the material level, but there's a profound commonality at the level of mythology, religion, and wisdom. The golden scepter at the Sanxingdui site is a relic of mysterious power and profound symbolism. Not only does it represent power and domination, but its appearance also reveals the delicate relationship between theocracy and secular power in ancient civilizations. As the Sanxingdui site continues to be excavated, the mystery carried by the golden scepter may gradually be revealed, but the deeper meaning of this mysterious scepter may never be fully revealed. Perhaps the true meaning of this golden scepter, like the Sanxingdui civilization itself, is full of mystery and elusive. It may represent a cultural heritage that spans time and space, symbolizing ancient human beings' profound understanding of the universe, mysterious forces, and power. Today, we may only be able to spy on the wisdom and mystery of that ancient civilization and feel the pulse and power of that era through these relics. Bronze, as one of the most important metals in human history, witnessed the rise of civilization. Most of the ancient Chinese bronzes paid attention to the production of ritual vessels, which were standardized and symbolic. Most of these bronzes were used for sacrifice and ritual, and the production process paid attention to the typical formal beauty and religious symbols. For example, the bronze tripods, bells, wine vessels, etc. of the Shang and Zhou dynasties showed power and sacredness. However, the bronze figures unearthed at the Sanxingdui site in Sichuan province show a completely different face. The forms of these bronze figures are full of mystery, with peculiar faces, exaggerated contours, and unusually prominent eyes. Unlike the traditional styles of bronze ware in the Central Plains, the bronze ware of Sanxingdui has the unique characteristics of combining divinity and humanity. They not only represent human worship of gods, but also carry a certain symbol of alien existence. Does such a different appearance suggest that the culture and technology of the ancient Shu civilization are completely different from that of the Central Plain civilization, and may even be influenced by the outside world? The existence of such bronzes has intrigued scholars about the historical background of Sanxingdui. Why are ancient Shu bronzes so unique? Is there some unknown and complex technology or recipe in the production process? Is this unique technology related to the mineral resources of the area where Sanxingdui is located? Or is it closely related to the exchange of foreign civilizations? The most striking thing about the process of making Sanxingdui bronzes is not just the strangeness of their appearance, but the unsolved mysteries that may be hidden in them. When studying the composition of Sanxingdui bronzes, archaeologists found that some trace elements did not match local minerals. For example, the metal composition of some bronzes contains unexplained metal impurities, which are not extracted from local minerals in Sichuan. This discovery has attracted great attention from the academic community. In history, the manufacture of bronze often relied on mineral resources in a specific region, and the bronzes unearthed in Sanxingdui seem to indicate that their raw materials are not traditional Central Plains minerals, and may have flowed into this region through some channel. Some scholars speculate that the existence of certain trace elements may not be consistent with the technical manufacturing level at that time, or even cannot be completed under the conditions of the time through ordinary smelting technology. Do these elements mean that Sanxingdui's bronze production process has foreign influence? Or are these special ingredients the knowledge passed down from a lost civilization, or maybe even passed on to the ancient Shu civilization through alien means? There's a bold hypothesis about the origin of Sanxingdui's bronze technology. Sanxingdui's bronze technology may have come from an earlier lost civilization or alien teaching. In the long river of ancient civilizations, there are indeed some civilizations whose disappearance remains unexplained to this day. One of the most well-known lost civilizations is the ancient Egyptian, Sumerian, and Mayan civilizations, which displayed extraordinary talents in ancient science, technology, and art. The technological level of these civilizations seems to be far beyond their era, and there are striking similarities with the technological development of our day. If this phenomenon was applied to Sanxingdui, it might be possible to find some reasonable explanation. Did the abnormal craftsmanship of Sanxingdui bronzes mean that the ancient Shu civilization had some kind of contact with these lost civilizations? Did the technology of these lost civilizations spread to the ancient Shu area far from the mainstream civilization in some way? Or even, could there be an alien civilization that somehow taught the ancient Shu civilization advanced metal smelting technology? Although there was no conclusive evidence for these ideas, the discovery of Sanxingdui undoubtedly provided some possibility for this hypothesis. Why could the ancient Shu civilization independently develop such a peculiar bronze technology in such a remote area made one wonder if there was some mysterious power behind it. The bronze figures of Sanxingdui stand out for their extremely exaggerated eyes. The eyes of these bronze figures are usually depicted as unusually large, far exceeding the proportions of normal humans. A closer look at these faces makes it seem as if the eyes of these figures are not just for the function of seeing, but have some kind of observation or insight ability. Some scholars have suggested that these giant eyes are not just an artistic exaggeration of appearance, but are associated with some kind of inner perception or third eye symbol. In many cultures, the third eye is not just a supernatural being, but a gateway to higher wisdom. In Hinduism and Buddhism, for example, the third eye represents wisdom, enlightenment, and spiritual awakening. It is a symbol that connects to higher levels of consciousness, capable of helping individuals transcend the physical world and gain a deep understanding of the universe and life. The huge eyes of the Sanxingdui bronze figures may also suggest that the ancient Shu civilization had some ability to communicate with the wisdom of the outside world or extraterrestrial visitors. Did these extraterrestrial messengers somehow pass on their wisdom and knowledge to the ancient Shu civilization? Did these mysterious eyes symbolize communication with unknown forces outside? If so, were the bronze figures at the Sanxingdui site sending some kind of message? And did they represent proof of contact with the celestial or interstellar civilizations? In ancient cultures around the world, legends about the coming of the gods exist. These gods, or extraterrestrial emissaries, usually descended from the sky, brought with them the knowledge and power to transform human civilization. These legends are not only common in ancient myths, but also appear in the religious texts of many ancient civilizations. For example, in the Sumerian epic of Gilgamesh, it is mentioned that the story of Gilgamesh is closely related to the arrival of the gods. The association between the legendary god Enlil and Gilgamesh is believed to be an encounter with mysterious extraterrestrial intelligence. Enlil's arrival symbolizes extraordinary knowledge and power. He gave guidance to human civilization and even helped ancient humans master astronomy, agriculture, and other technologies. Similar stories also appear in ancient Chinese legends. For example, the legend of the Yellow Emperor, who ascended on a dragon, represents a direct connection with the gods. In ancient Chinese mythology, the Heavenly Emperor was often not an ordinary deity, but a supernatural being from outer space. The communication between the Yellow Emperor and the gods symbolize the enlightenment and rise of human civilization. Do these stories about the arrival of the gods hint at a contact between interstellar civilizations in ancient times? Are these gods actually intelligent creatures from aliens? Is the appearance of the bronze figures of Sanxingdui part of these arrival of the gods legends? which represent the incarnation of extraterrestrial emissaries. In recent years, with the continuous advancement of science and technology, the hypothesis of contact between ancient civilizations and extraterrestrial civilizations has gradually attracted the attention of the scientific community, especially in the intersection of astronomy, archaeology, and genetics. More and more scholars have begun to propose that there may have been an interstellar civilization contact in ancient times. Proponents of this hypothesis believe that Sanxingdui's bronze figures and similar objects from many other ancient civilizations may be physical evidence of this contact. They are not purely artistic creations, but the legacy of alien civilizations. Through these objects, alien civilizations passed on some extraordinary technology and knowledge to ancient civilizations. The giant eyes and mysterious faces of Sanxingdui's bronze figures may be symbols of this extraterrestrial intelligence, representing the bridge between these extraterrestrials and the civilization of Earth. Scientists further hypothesize that ancient civilizations may have had contact with extraterrestrial civilizations, and these evidence of contact is not only hidden in myths and legends, but also some puzzling items found in archaeological sites. The bronze figure of Sanxingdui is such a mystery, and its existence may provide important clues to this interstellar civilization contact. As technology advances, a growing number of scholars are focusing on possible signs of extraterrestrial contact in ancient sites and civilizations. Scientists have suggested that some of the buildings and crafts that cannot be explained by the technology of the Earth at the time may be the legacy of extraterrestrial civilizations. For example, the pyramids of ancient Egypt, the gear-like devices of Sumer, and the astronomical knowledge of the Mayan civilization are all beyond the normal level of ancient civilization. The bronze figures at Sanxingdui have similar extraordinary characteristics. Their artistic style is very different from that of the Central Plains culture at the time, and the level of craftsmanship is unusually advanced. In the eyes of scientists, the bronze figures and other unearthed items in Sanxingdui, such as bronze masks, gold ornaments, jade, etc., may be relics of some kind of alien civilization's technology, or even symbols of the existence of alien intelligence. To support this hypothesis, the researchers analyzed the composition of the bronze and found that the trace elements in it did not exactly match the known mineral resources of Earth at the time. This discovery has sparked discussions about alien materials. Perhaps these trace elements are not minerals from Earth, but the products of alien celestial bodies. By comparing the mineral resources of the time, scientists have made a bold hypothesis. These trace elements may be materials brought by extraterrestrial civilizations, representing some kind of contact with the ancient civilization of Earth. Some astronomers even speculate that the Sanxingdui civilization may have established some form of contact with ancient extraterrestrial civilizations, and this contact was not just accidental. It may have been made through some interstellar messengers. These messengers may have briefly stopped on Earth, bringing advanced technology, knowledge, and culture. And this information was passed on to future generations of us through mythology, art, and bronze figures. Many researchers have speculated that the bronze portraits and other artworks in Sanxingdui may not be the independent creation of the ancient Shu civilization, but may have been influenced to some extent by extraterrestrial intelligence. The transmission of these extraterrestrial intelligence may have entered the Sanxingdui civilization through direct contact or cultural transmission. Whether the existence and influence of extraterrestrial civilizations can be passed down through these artworks and technical heritage has become a hot topic of debate among scholars. These strange bronze figures unearthed at the Sanxingdui site are undoubtedly important cultural or religious symbols, and their faces and shapes may represent some mysterious extraterrestrial intelligence. The eyes of these bronze figures are unusually prominent, and they have a very peculiar third eye feature. Their faces and gestures seem to express some kind of supernatural power, which may be related to extraterrestrial intelligence. Like other ancient civilizations, the Sanxingdui culture also has a rich mythological and religious tradition. Could the strange faces of the bronze figures be the embodiment of these mythical extraterrestrial gods? In addition, does the special formula and craftsmanship of the bronze portraits indicate that there is some more advanced knowledge hidden behind these works of art? Are they cultural carriers that the extraterrestrial civilization tried to establish contact with the ancient Shu civilization? Is this cultural exchange carried out through these masks and statues? Under this assumption, Sanxingdui is not just an archaeological site. It may be a memory point for the ancient Shu civilization to communicate with the extraterrestrial civilization. The bronze figures of Sanxingdui look very old, but their craftsmanship shows exquisite craftsmanship that surpasses the technical level of the time, whether it is from the fineness of carving or the smelting technology of bronze. These bronze figures show an amazing level of craftsmanship, especially their unique alloy formula and trace elements, far beyond the known smelting technology on Earth at that time. Some scholars believe that these technologies may not have been invented entirely by the ancient Shu people, but were obtained under some kind of external influence. Perhaps the bronze smelting process of the ancient Shu civilization was obtained under the guidance of some alien civilization. Is the bronze figure of Sanxingdui exactly the artistic heritage brought to the Earth civilization by the alien messenger? Do the huge eyes and strange faces of these bronze figures represent the influence of alien civilizations on human culture? In fact, with the advancement of science and technology, humans have been able to create advanced alloys similar to Sanxingdui bronzes. But this does not mean that the ancient Shu people had similar smelting technology at that time. Some experts even believe that some metal elements in Sanxingdui bronzes cannot be completely found on Earth until today. This further deepens the mystery of the Sanxingdui ruins and makes the theory of alien civilization imparting even more confusing. Sanxingdui's bronze figures and other unearthed objects do not exist in isolation. Across the globe, the art, technology, and even architecture of many ancient civilizations exhibit supernatural features similar to Sanxingdui's. For example, the heads of gods in ancient Egypt, the figures of gods in Mayan culture, and even the Olmec statues in Central and South America all exhibit unusual facial features, prominent eyes, distorted faces, and even large or alien heads. Do these similar artistic expressions also suggest a cross-cultural extraterrestrial influence? From these civilizations, we can see many similar symbols and symbols, which are often associated with supernatural beings, extraterrestrial intelligence, or gods. Did these cultures have contact or communication in some way at some time? If the bronze figures of Sanxingdui are similar to the faces of other civilizations, do these civilizations represent a common historical memory across time and space? Are these faces expressing the universality of extraterrestrial intelligence? Or are they symbols of some kind of cosmic intelligence? Through comparative studies of ancient civilizations around the world, a growing number of scholars have begun to hypothesize that these emissaries of extraterrestrial civilizations are not accidental products of a particular region, but have somehow become part of global cultural memory. The bronze figures of Sanxingdui may be an important symbol of this cross-cultural memory. They are not just products of the ancient Shu civilization, but more likely long-term memories of human contact with alien civilizations. Under this assumption, could the combined divinity and humanity of the Sanxingdui bronze figures be explained as some kind of cultural blending between the extraterrestrial emissaries and the ancient Shu civilization? Could these figures represent the wisdom and spiritual symbols of the extraterrestrial civilization? And were they a kind of memory of the extraterrestrial culture on Earth, transmitting ancient knowledge and wisdom? In this ancient land, archaeologists have discovered a large number of exquisite bronze, gold, pottery, and other cultural relics, especially those huge and oddly shaped bronze masks, whose unique shape still puzzles many historians. The eyes of these masks are unusually prominent and exaggerated, as if to reveal the deep power of some ancient civilization. The unearthing of these relics means that our understanding of ancient Chinese civilization must be re-examined. Sanxingdui may be a highly developed civilization that predates the Zhou dynasty, and its mysterious atmosphere has attracted not only scholars, but also countless folklore breeds. The mystery of the Sanxingdui site was perhaps most striking in this incident. In 1997, the archaeological team members who participated in the excavation of the Sanxingdui site experienced strange physical symptoms after coming into contact with the cultural relics. Symptoms similar to poisoning, including dizziness, vomiting, muscle weakness, and even some members of the team were seriously ill. These archaeological team members were originally healthy, but they suddenly developed such a strange disease collectively, which made it difficult to imagine. Could this have anything to do with the ancient relics they came into contact with? A saying about curse began to spread among the public. When it comes to the curse, the first thing that comes to many people's minds is the curse of the pharaohs in ancient Egypt. Every time archaeologists come into contact with ancient Egyptian tombs, mysterious accidents and disasters seem to follow. Shipwrecks, flight accidents, sudden diseases, etc. These events once created endless fear of the pharaohs' tombs in ancient Egypt. Although many modern scientists believe that the so-called curse of the pharaohs has no scientific basis and is more caused by coincidence or environmental factors, this mysterious fear is still deeply rooted in people's hearts. During the excavation of the Sanxingdui site, similar events have triggered many similar associations. People can't help but wonder how many unsolved mysteries are buried in this ancient site. Could it also hide some ancient and powerful power? Could the pharaonic curse that once spread in ancient Egypt be revived here? Or is the Sanxingdui civilization related to some supernatural power? However, although this kind of thinking is full of mystery, it has not been generally recognized by the archaeological community. Scientists prefer to try to find an explainable reason for this mysterious event from a more rational perspective. In the face of the sudden illness of the archaeological team members, the scientists did not rush to attribute it to a curse, but deeply analyzed the environment around the site and the cultural relics themselves. They proposed a more realistic explanation. These diseases are likely to be related to the harmful substances that the team members were exposed to during the excavation process. Archaeologists point out that when the relics at Sanxingdui were unearthed, most of them accumulated a large amount of corrosive substances, including toxic chemical elements and metallic minerals. These substances may have accumulated over thousands of years, and due to factors such as moisture and oxidation, these harmful substances will precipitate on the surface of the cultural relics. As the excavation activities deepened, the archaeological team members were directly exposed to these harmful substances without adequate protection. Some cultural relics, especially metal objects and bronzes, may contain toxic metal elements such as lead, mercury, and arsenic. Prolonged exposure to these substances may cause poisoning-like symptoms. In addition, the Sanxingdui site is located in a humid environment, and the moisture accelerates the corrosion of cultural relics and may also lead to the growth of certain harmful microorganisms. Without knowing it, the team members were exposed to these microorganisms or toxic substances, which led to physical discomfort symptoms. Although the scientific explanation is more rational, it has not completely dispelled the doubts in the public's mind. In the eyes of many people, the Sanxingdui site is still a mysterious place, as if hiding secrets that cannot be revealed. The Sanxingdui ruins are not just an archaeological site, but also a cultural charm that cannot be fully explained by modern science. Sanxingdui's bronze masks, golden canes, and exquisite bronzes all seem to silently tell the story of an ancient civilization. Is there some kind of wisdom or even some ancient power hidden behind these cultural relics that is beyond our comprehension? In the long river of history, many cultural sites are intertwined with mysterious legends. What we see is not only the relics of the past, but also the myths and mysteries that span time and space. Every slate, every bronze, may be the key to the ancient mysterious world, and the Sanxingdui ruins may be the source of this key. Perhaps these bizarre events were not just coincidences, they were a response to the power contained in these ancient relics. Perhaps these relics were indeed closely related to some supernatural power, waiting to be reinterpreted and accepted by modern humans. Every historical site, every relic of a civilization, has its own unique story and energy, and the Sanxingdui Bazaar incident is a mysterious chapter in this story. The Sanxingdui ruins, an ancient civilization that is still dormant in the land of Sichuan, still harbor countless mysteries today. In addition to the bronze masks and exquisite artifacts that shock the world, there is also a peculiar phenomenon that still haunts people at night. Villagers can often hear the humming sound of bronzes coming from the ground. This sound is not the whistling of the wind or the cry of animals, but a mysterious humming, as if some indescribable force is quietly operating in the depths. The buzzing sounds with ancient echoes seem to cross the barriers of time and space and touch some unknown force in the deepest part of the human psyche. Villagers talk about this phenomenon with a look of fear and curiosity in their eyes. They say that the sounds seem to come from somewhere underground, as if they are closely related to the existence of bronze tools. Some even believe that these sounds are the calls of ancient gods, some unsolved natural or supernatural force communicating with humans. Yet to this day, scientists have not found a convincing explanation. This is not unique to the Sanxingdui site. Similar mysterious sounds have repeatedly appeared in ancient sites around the world. For example, in the Nazca Plain of Peru, the mysterious sound waves underground have also aroused widespread discussion. The existence of the Nazca Lines itself is full of mystery, and these strange sound waves seem to add an even more mysterious veil to these already mysterious cultures. From this, people began to wonder, is there some kind of unknown force on Earth that exists below these sites, guiding us to explore and decipher those distant civilizations? Sound has been an important part of human culture since ancient times. In ancient civilizations, many cultures gave sound some kind of sacred symbolic meaning. In ancient Egypt, sound was believed to have mysterious powers. Priests in ancient Egypt often communicated with the gods through sacrificial instruments, chants, and drums. In China, especially in ancient courts and sacrificial ceremonies, the sound of bells, drums, and other instruments was often regarded as a bridge between heaven and man. Sound seems to be more than just a physical phenomenon. It is more like a medium that spans the physical and spiritual worlds. The bronzes at Sanxingdui ruins, especially the ancient bells, and various musical instruments, still exude a mysterious atmosphere. The buzzing sound heard by the villagers seems to be the breathing of these bronzes, the echo of some ancient power left over from them after thousands of years of silence. Perhaps this sound is not entirely a physical buzzing, but a vibration that can transcend time and space, transmitting the sounds and emotions of ancient civilizations. Are these sounds related to the rituals of the Sanxingdui civilization? Is there some deep cultural or religious significance? When we listen to this sound at night, do we inadvertently touch some mysterious frequency that exceeds modern scientific understanding? While the phenomenon has been widely discussed and speculated about, the scientific community has not offered a clear explanation. Some scientists have suggested that these humming sounds may be related to the flow of water in the ground, changes in minerals or vibrations in geological structures. Groundwater may travel through rock formations or pipes under certain environmental conditions, forming a sound similar to humming. And the vibration of minerals, small seismic fluctuations, may also produce low-frequency sounds that can be heard by the human ear in some special cases. However, these explanations, while plausible, still fail to fully uncover the veil of this mysterious phenomenon. Can groundwater flows and geological changes really produce such clear and specific humming sounds? Are these sounds produced solely related to natural phenomena? Or are there some supernatural forces hidden behind these sounds, far beyond the scope of our current scientific understanding? The Sanxingdui site itself holds many unsolved mysteries, from unearthed bronzes to mysterious masks. These artifacts are full of strange charm. What we see in these artifacts is a strange and distant world, an ancient civilization that cannot be fully interpreted by modern eyes. And these underground sounds may be some kind of aftertaste of that ancient world, as if they're trying to communicate with us and convey some kind of message. Similar mysterious phenomena have been recorded in other parts of the world for a long time. The Nazca Lines in Peru are an example. In this desolate desert area, huge earth portraits are carved by mysterious forces from outside the sky, and their existence cannot be explained with certainty. Even more mysterious is that under the Nazca region, deep sounds like sound waves can often be heard, as if some kind of huge energy field is operating underground. The source of these sounds has not yet been identified. Some scholars have suggested that these mysterious sound waves may be related to underground geological activity, rock vibrations, and water flow movements. But others have suggested that these phenomena may be related to some unknown mysterious power or ritual in ancient civilizations. Perhaps these civilizations themselves possess some ancient knowledge that can resonate with the energy field of the earth. And this resonance is the mysterious sound we hear today. The buzzing sounds of Sanxingdui, like the mysterious sound waves of Nazca, are phenomena that cannot be easily explained by science. They seem to point to a broader field, the exploration of unknown phenomena on Earth. Perhaps it is these seemingly inexplicable phenomena that strengthen our belief that there must be deep connections between ancient civilizations and the natural world that we do not yet understand. In 2022, the Sanxingdui site once again became the focus of the global archaeological community. In this ancient land, archaeologists discovered a new sacrificial pit. This discovery is of great significance because the sacrificial pit is one of the core relics of Sanxingdui culture. Almost every time the sacrificial pit is unearthed, it is accompanied by a mysterious and profound historical mystery. However, this discovery is more bizarre than ever, because parts of the sacrificial pit have been deliberately backfilled without further excavation. This move quickly sparked speculation from all sides. There seems to be no archaeological reason for why this area was deliberately sealed. Could it be that there is some kind of unknown secret buried here? Or maybe there is some hidden force here that compels archaeologists to deliberately cover it up. This mysterious behavior is reminiscent of the mercury rivers of the famous Qin Shi Huang Mausoleum in Chinese history. That strange anti-theft design has also aroused countless speculation and discussion for its mysterious protective function. Sanxingdui's move seemed to be a silent message, a warning to the outside world, perhaps a secret call from civilization thousands of years ago to the modern world. As one of the important discoveries of the Sanxingdui ruins, the sacrificial pit is not only a direct witness to the religious and ritual activities of the Sanxingdui civilization, but also the key to uncovering the mystery of this ancient civilization. Most of the sacrificial pits in Sanxingdui have unearthed a large number of bronzes, gold, jade, and other mysterious cultural relics. The various shapes and patterns of these relics are full of unknowns and symbols, which cannot be simply interpreted from modern perspective. The sacrificial pit was an important place for ancient human beings to carry out religious sacrifices and ceremonial activities. The sacrificial pit at the Sanxingdui site had the same function as the sacrificial pit in other civilization sites. That is, to communicate with gods and pay homage to ancestors through rituals. However, the sacrificial pit at Sanxingdui is full of mystery that is different from other cultural sites. The forms of those bronze masks, golden sticks, and gold utensils are similar to ancient myths and legends. Many cultural relics are inlaid with unknown symbols on the surface, which seems to imply an unspeakable power. This sense of mystery is one of the reasons why Sanxingdui culture is so attractive. The existence of the sacrificial pit has long provided archaeologists with important clues about the religious rituals and social structure of Sanxingdui. Through the study of these relics, scholars have come up with some speculations about the Sanxingdui civilization. It may have been a civilization with strong religious power. Its social organization may have been dominated by priests or clergy, and the worship of gods occupied the core position of social culture. However, it is this mysterious ritual that makes people full of endless speculation and yearning for the Sanxingdui past. The newly discovered sacrificial pit in 2022 was deliberately backfilled by the archaeological team. Unlike previous complete excavations and studies of sacrificial pits, this move has aroused widespread public attention and speculation. Why has this area not been further excavated? Is there some kind of indescribable secret in it that cannot be easily revealed? This move is reminiscent of the mysterious sites in history, especially the peculiar designs related to the tombs of ancient emperors. The most reminiscent is the mausoleum of Qin Shi Huang. As one of the most mysterious imperial tombs in the world, the design of the Mercury rivers in the mausoleum of Qin Shi Huang still amazes many archaeologists and historians. In order to prevent tomb robbers from entering, Qin Shi Huang designed a complex mercury system to simulate the flow of the Yangtze and Yellow rivers. The flowing mercury can not only simulate the flow of rivers, but also pose a deadly threat to invaders through its unique toxicity. This design is also considered the ultimate form of anti-theft in ancient times, and some people even regard it as a symbol of the ancient people's attempt to protect the dead and maintain the sanctity of tombs. Does the backfilled sacrificial pit also suggest a similar intention? Perhaps this deliberately sealed sacrificial pit is hiding some kind of taboo. Maybe it is related to the religious beliefs of the Sanxingdui civilization, and some mysterious force has made it an untouchable, forbidden place. Are archaeologists really just preventing us from seeing something dangerous? Or is the backfilling of this area trying to protect some hidden secrets from being discovered by the outside world? These speculations have a strong, mysterious color, which also makes the Sanxingdui ruins even more confusing. If the backfilling of the sacrificial pit was meant to protect some kind of power, then Sanxingdui's act may have sent a warning to some extent. This kind of warning may be a mysterious reminder to both archaeologists trying to unlock Sanxingdui's secrets and to modern society. The excavations of archaeologists often reveal the deepest secrets of historical sites, but these secrets do not always appeal to the rational thinking of modern society. Many relics and sites in ancient civilizations are often heavily mystical, and many religions, rituals, and forces cannot be simply understood by today's technology and knowledge. The backfilling behavior of Sanxingdui may be a kind of vigilance of ancient civilizations to the outside world. It may suggest some kind of power, some kind of inviolable domain, or even some mysterious technology that we have not yet mastered. This warning may be related to the purpose of ancient sacrifices. Sacrifices are not just about expressing respect or asking for protection, but more about some form of communication with the invisible world. In the process of communication, a delicate balance is established between the priest and the gods. Any carelessness can lead to the desecration of the gods or the forces of nature. Perhaps this is why some sacrificial pits are deliberately backfilled. They represent a taboo a force that cannot be withheld. In an archaeological dig at Sanxingdui, an artifact called the Sun Shape has attracted widespread attention. Its mysterious shape and complex symbols seem to be sending us some ancient, millennial, and cross-cultural message. The Sun Shape is a bronze cast artifact whose design is full of symbolism, showing a circular structure surrounded by radial lines, like a blazing sun burning in the sky. This form has not only attracted the attention of archaeologists, but also raised deep questions about the connection between ancient civilizations. The discovery of this sun-shaped device immediately reminded people of similar sun symbols and patterns around the world. For example, in India, there's a symbol called Sun Wheel, whose shape is also very similar to the three-star pile, sun-shaped device. In ancient Egypt, the famous sun ship is a figurative embodiment of the worship of the sun god Ra, symbolizing the movement and resurrection of the sun. They vary in design, structure, and cultural background, but they represent something strikingly similar. That is, the worship and reverence of the sun. This similarity across regions and time prompts people to wonder, did there exist a common cosmology or belief system in ancient times? Did ancient civilizations convey a similar understanding of the sun, life, and the origin of the universe through some invisible force or channel? Do the sun symbols of these civilizations reflect the synchronicity of ancient human thought and spirit? The sun is one of the earliest objects of worship in human civilization. From the ruins of ancient civilizations, we can see that almost every culture expressed reverence and admiration for the sun in some way. In ancient China, the sun was closely related to the Emperor of Heaven, and the sun was regarded as a symbol of supremacy. In Hinduism, the sun god Surya is one of the gods widely worshipped. In Egypt, the sun god Ra was considered to be the god who created and maintained the order of the universe and its supreme power. Even in the far-flung American civilization, the worship of the sun god still occupies an important position, especially in the Mayan culture, where the sun is regarded as the core that determines the passage of time and the cycle of life and death. The sun is not only the source of life, its rise and fall also symbolize the flow of time, the beginning and end of life. In many ancient cultures, the sun's symbolism goes beyond the celestial bodies themselves. It is the embodiment of the cosmic order and the bridge between divinity and humanity. Therefore, almost all ancient civilizations regarded the sun as a sacred existence and expressed their worship of the sun through various arts, buildings, and ceremonies. The design style and symbolism of the Sanxingdui sun-shaped device, as an extremely important cultural relic in this site, are reminiscent of the common beliefs of these ancient civilizations. By contrast, the Sanxingdui sun-shaped device does not seem to exist in isolation. It may be a remnant of the sun worship that was common in ancient civilizations. Its existence not only provides us with a deep understanding of the Sanxingdui culture, but also reveals that human civilization may have existed in ancient times. There may be some kind of cross-cultural synchronicity. In ancient cultures in different time and space, the sun was given almost the same symbolic meaning. Synchronicity is a concept proposed by the psychologist Carl Jung, which refers to the coincidence of different events in time. There is no causal relationship between them, but there is some deep connection. Across the long river of history, the similarity between the sun-shaped instruments at the Sanxingdui site and the sun wheel in India and the sun ship in Egypt can be seen as a phenomenon of synchronicity between global civilizations. These symbols may not be just isolated cultural products, but some kind of spiritual resonance deep in ancient civilizations and across cultural and geographical boundaries. From an archaeological point of view, the cultures of Sanxingdui, India, Egypt, and other places have obvious differences. Their languages, customs, and religious concepts are different, But the striking similarity of the sun's symbol seems to reveal the common reaction of human beings in the face of natural forces. Perhaps these symbols were not transmitted through direct contact or cultural transmission, but human civilization independently produced a similar symbolic system under some common spiritual background. Jung once mentioned that there is a collective unconscious in the human subconscious, which is the accumulation of the common spiritual experience of all human beings. And this collective unconscious may be the spiritual prototype on which global civilization created the sun symbol. The sun symbols in different cultures may be the common exploration of the order of the universe and the origin of life by ancient humans. They are like some kind of dialogue between ancient civilizations and the universe, try to express a consensus beyond language through symbols, patterns, rituals, etc. The worship of the sun in any civilization is closely related to life, light, creation, time, etc. In the sun-shaped instruments at the Sanxingdui site, the circular symbols and radial lines are most likely symbols of the image of the sun rising and shining. This image not only has the constant power in the universe, but also may represent the profound understanding of the flow of time by ancient humans. The sun, as a ruler of time, rises and sets, and seems to be part of the ancient understanding of the order of the universe. Similarly, the sun wheel in India and the sun ship in Egypt also demonstrate the unique symbolic meaning of the sun. In India, the sun wheel is considered to be a symbol that connects heaven and earth and represents the cycle of life, while in Egypt, the sun ship is a carrier for Shenla, the sail in the sky, symbolizing the endless cycle and resurrection of the sun god. It can be said that the symbol of the sun in these cultures is the understanding and expression of the mysterious power of the universe. The sun is not just a physical celestial body, but also carries the ancient civilization's questions about life and death, time, and eternity. Does this cross-cultural, cross-time, and space-time sun worship mean that ancient humans had a common understanding on the spiritual level? Is there some unsolved connection that prompted these cultures to produce similar patterns and forms in the expression of sun symbols? All of this may only be gradually solved through more archaeological discoveries and cross-cultural comparative studies. The sun, as a symbol of life and time, has always run through the long history of human civilization. Although they belong to different cultures in time and space, their striking similarities in form seem to lead us to a more profound consideration: whether there is some mysterious synchronicity in ancient civilizations. Did humans share some common understanding of the universe and life in different regions and cultural backgrounds in ancient time and space? These questions may never have definite answers, but it is these mysterious connections that make us constantly reflect on the origin and development of human civilization, and make us more convinced that the wisdom and power of ancient civilizations are far deeper than we can understand today. The Sanxingdui ruins, an important testimony to ancient Chinese civilization, still exude an air of mystery. This vast ancient city site, once glorious for a time, suddenly fell into an abandoned silence at a certain moment. Its disappearance left no clear historical record, as if the land was swallowed up by the torrent of history overnight. Such a sudden disappearance is reminiscent of an ancient story, the legend of the Great Flood in the Epic of Gilgamesh. In this Mesopotamian epic around 2000 BC, it is told that the gods caused a great flood due to human sin, which almost destroyed the entire world. Only one hero survived, rebuilding human civilization with the hope and wisdom of survival. The sun, as a symbol of life and time, has always run through the long history of human civilization. Although they belong to different cultures in time and space, their striking similarities in form seem to lead us to a more profound consideration: whether there is some mysterious synchronicity in ancient civilizations. Did humans share some common understanding of the universe and life in different regions and cultural backgrounds in ancient time and space? These questions may never have definite answers, but it is these mysterious connections that make us constantly reflect on the origin and development of human civilization and make us more convinced that the wisdom and power of ancient civilizations are far deeper than we can understand today. The Sanxingdui ruins, an important testimony to ancient Chinese civilization, still exude an air of mystery. This vast, ancient city site, once glorious for a time, suddenly fell into an abandoned silence at a certain moment. Its disappearance left no clear historical record, as if the land was swallowed up by the torrent of history overnight. Such a sudden disappearance is reminiscent of an ancient story, the legend of the Great Flood in the Epic of Gilgamesh. In this Mesopotamian epic around 2000 BC, it is told that the gods caused a great flood due to human sin, which almost destroyed the entire world. Only one hero survived, rebuilding human civilization with the hope and wisdom of survival. The sun, as a symbol of life and time, has always run through the long history of human civilization. Although they belong to different cultures in time and space, their striking similarities in form seem to lead us to a more profound consideration, whether there is some mysterious synchronicity in ancient civilizations. Did humans share some common understanding of the universe and life in different regions and cultural backgrounds in ancient time and space? These questions may never have definite answers, but it is these mysterious connections that make us constantly reflect on the origin and development of human civilization and make us more convinced that the wisdom and power of ancient civilizations are far deeper than we can understand today. The Sanxingdui ruins, an important testimony to ancient Chinese civilization, still exude an air of mystery. This vast, ancient city site, once glorious for a time, suddenly fell into an abandoned silence at a certain moment. Its disappearance left no clear historical record, as if the land was swallowed up by the torrent of history overnight. Such a sudden disappearance is reminiscent of an ancient story, the legend of the Great Flood in the Epic of Gilgamesh. In this Mesopotamian epic around 2000 BC, it is told that the gods caused a great flood due to human sin, which almost destroyed the entire world. Only one hero survived, rebuilding human civilization with the hope and wisdom of survival. The sudden abandonment of the Sanxingdui ruins has become another great mystery in history. Archaeologists have not yet been able to find a clear reason. The abandonment of the ruins seems to have no warning and lacks relevant written records. The entire city suddenly disappeared, leaving only scattered cultural relics and endless questions. The mysterious artifacts unearthed in the ruins, such as bronzes, masks, gold objects, etc., show a highly developed civilization, and the disappearance of this civilization is also reminiscent of the Great Flood legend on a global scale. Some scholars believe that the sudden disappearance of the Sanxingdui civilization may be related to the natural disasters at that time. Sichuan is located in a mountainous geographical environment, and frequent earthquakes, floods, and other natural disasters are not uncommon. Perhaps it was such a sudden disaster that led to the demise of the Sanxingdui civilization. The masks and statues in the ruins seem to tell a certain belief of this civilization, or its confrontation with the forces of nature. Like the flood mentioned in the Gilgamesh epic, did the disaster that almost destroyed the world also befall Sanxingdui? Is the abandonment of civilization a manifestation of human inability to cope with natural disasters? The legends of the Great Flood, which exist in almost every major civilization in the world, seem more than just a cultural coincidence, more like a historical legacy buried deep in the collective memory. They describe not only a natural disaster, but also an allegory about the struggle between humans and nature, gods and destiny. As an extreme manifestation of nature, the flood destroyed the order of the world, but also provided an opportunity to rebuild civilization. Whether it is the Ark in the Epic of Gilgamesh or the legend of rebirth in the Mayan civilization, the reconstruction after the flood contains profound symbolism. Is the sudden abandonment of Sanxingdui also related to this global catastrophe? This is not only a reflection of natural disasters, but also the cognition and fear of ancient civilizations about the uncontrollable forces of nature. Perhaps the Sanxingdui civilization did experience a disaster at some point, similar to a global flood, or maybe even triggered by a major environmental change or climate disaster. Archaeologists have hypothesized that the area where the Sanxingdui site is located may have experienced severe floods or droughts, and this sudden disaster directly led to the disappearance of this civilization. The legends of these great floods, whether they are the true portrayal of historical events or the mythologized interpretation of disasters by future generations, reveal to some extent the vulnerability and helplessness of human civilization in the face of natural disasters. After each civilization has experienced such disasters, it has left a story of rebirth and reconstruction in its culture. These stories not only convey the hope of human beings for the future, but also make us feel an eternal resonance. In the long river of history, we have always searched for the hope of survival and reconstruction in the face of irresistible natural forces. The sudden disappearance of the Sanxingdui ruins and flood legends around the world may not be a coincidence, but a call to collective memory. Whether it is the Ark in the Epic of Gilgamesh, the destruction of the fourth sun in Mayan legends, or the story of Great Yu's control of floods in China, they are all reminders that the power of nature cannot be predicted, but human desire and persistence to rebuild civilization have always run through every chapter of history. The abandonment of Sanxingdui is not just a historical mystery. It also bears the powerlessness and tenacity of human beings in the face of disasters, telling us those ancient memories that have not disappeared. In the bronze artifacts at the Sanxingdui site, scientists discovered a surprising phenomenon. Some artifacts contained unusually high levels of zinc purity, far exceeding the level of smelting technology known at the time. This discovery immediately shocked the scientific community because ancient humans had not been able to achieve such high precision in smelting technology in the thousands of years BC. This phenomenon cannot help but lead to a bold hypothesis. Does this highly pure zinc mean that the manufacturing technology of the Sanxingdui civilization has been influenced by some kind of external civilization? Did some kind of alien visitor come into contact with the Sanxingdui civilization in some way in distant ancient times? This hypothesis is not limited to the Sanxingdui site. Similar questions have arisen in the study of other mysterious sites around the world. For example, the Paracas skull in South America is another mysterious relic that has sparked similar speculation. The skulls have unusual morphological features, especially their unusual shape and structure, leading some researchers to speculate that they may not have come from Earth humans, or may even contain non-human DNA. Does the connection between these mysteries suggest that there was some kind of extraterrestrial or external civilization influence in Earth's history? The bronze ware at the Sanxingdui site has become a treasure of ancient Chinese civilization due to its exquisite craftsmanship and unique design. However, the results of the composition analysis of some of the artifacts have attracted great attention of scientists. In particular, the high-purity zinc contained in these bronzes is far beyond the known level of smelting technology at that time. In the era of BC, although the metallurgical technology of ancient humans has made some progress, it is still unimaginable to smelt such high-purity zinc. Zinc, as one of the main alloys of bronze, is usually extracted through special smelting techniques. At that time, the purification method of zinc was very complicated and the effect was limited. Therefore, the purity of zinc was usually low, while the purity of zinc in the bronze unearthed by Sanxingdui reached an unprecedented level. The appearance of this phenomenon has forced scientists to re-examine the development of ancient smelting technology, and some people even put forward a shocking hypothesis. Did the smelting technology of the Sanxingdui civilization be influenced by external civilization? This assumption is not groundless. Historically, there have been many controversies and discussions about the theory of extraterrestrial civilization and early cultural contact on Earth. The emergence of many advanced technologies in ancient civilizations is often not explained by the technological level of the time. The bronze-making technology of the Sanxingdui civilization may be the embodiment of this mysterious phenomenon. Perhaps these technologies were not purely invented by humans on Earth, but were inspired or guided by some external force. Similar to the bronzes at Sanxingdui, the Paracas skulls of South America have also sparked speculation about the intervention of outside civilizations. The skulls, unearthed in the Paracas region of Peru, are known for their non-human forms. Unlike ordinary human skulls, the Paracas have an unusually elongated shape, a higher cranial top, and a more abrupt back of the brain. The morphological features of these skulls do not match any known human race on Earth, confusing archaeologists and anthropologists. Some researchers have suggested that the skulls may not have come from Earth humans, but rather the remains of an alien or non-Earth species. What's more, some scholars have suggested that the abnormal shape of the Paracas skull may be related to non-human DNA. Although this hypothesis has not been widely scientifically validated, it has sparked intense interest in the alien hypothesis. Such theories are not the first to emerge. The global hypothesis that extraterrestrial civilizations visited Earth and made contact with ancient civilizations has long been the subject of debate among scholars and researchers. The mystery of the Paracas skulls makes such speculation all the more appealing. Some have suggested that these bizarre skulls may be relics of an alien species or related to genetic communication between alien civilizations. Whether or not this hypothesis is ultimately confirmed, at least it provides us with a different perspective on the unexplained mysteries of ancient civilizations. Whether it is Sanxingdui's high-purity zinc or Paracas abnormal skull, they all raise a common question: whether ancient civilizations were really influenced by external civilizations. The extraterrestrial visitor hypothesis is based on this question. This hypothesis holds that some ancient civilizations on Earth may have had contact with extraterrestrial civilizations at some point and even received technical support and cultural inspiration from these extraterrestrial civilizations. From the bronzes at the Sanxingdui site to the Paracas skull, these mysteries do not seem to exist in isolation, and they reveal to some extent that the origin and development of human civilization may not be as simple as we think. Some archaeologists and historians suggest that the technological achievements of ancient civilizations, especially those that are difficult to explain, may not have been entirely derived from human wisdom on Earth, but may have been inspired or directly intervened by external civilizations. For example, the advanced smelting technology in the Sanxingdui civilization may not be a simple technological innovation, but a kind of knowledge obtained through some unknown channel. If this hypothesis holds true, then the emergence and disappearance of the Sanxingdui civilization may no longer be an isolated historical event, but rather related to the broader phenomenon of extraterrestrial contact. Perhaps the prosperity and decline of ancient civilizations were not solely due to internal social changes or environmental factors, but were promoted or disrupted by external civilizational forces. The extraterrestrial visitor hypothesis, whether it is the high-purity zinc in Sanxingdui bronzes or the anomalous features of Paracas skulls, provide a mysterious perspective on the achievements and unsolved mysteries of ancient civilizations. Although these hypotheses are not yet generally accepted by the scientific community, they have undoubtedly inspired people's curiosity about history and exploration of the unknown. The technology and culture of ancient civilizations, especially in the fields of smelting, architecture, and astronomy, often exceeded the level of science and technology known at the time. Whether these mysterious achievements and technologies hinted at the intervention of external civilizations remains a question worth exploring. And all of this may only be waiting for more discoveries and evidence in the future to gradually lift the fog of history. Whether or not science finally proves the alien hypothesis, the Sanxingdui ruins, the Paracas skull, and other mysterious sites have made us realize that the stories of ancient civilizations are far more complex than we thought. They are not just the crystallization of human intelligence, but may also be witnesses to some mysterious force in the universe. The stagnation of Sanxingdui's excavation, the limitations of the technology, or the hidden secrets behind it. The Sanxingdui site in Guanghan, Sichuan province, remains one of the most mysterious and dramatic finds in archaeology. Since it was first excavated in 1986, the ancient site has been revealing the wonders and mysteries of the ancient Shu civilization. Huge bronze figures, gold masks, intricate jade objects, and highly exotic sculptures and hieroglyphics have amazed countless scholars and archaeology enthusiasts. Yet despite the wealth of artifacts unearthed at Sanxingdui, excavations of the site have not made much progress in the past few decades and appear to have stalled. Why is this? Technology has changed with each passing day, and archaeological technology is also constantly innovating. Especially advanced technologies such as laser scanning, ground penetration radar, and remote sensing detection have been widely used in archaeological excavations around the world. Even so, the excavation progress of the Sanxingdui site is still slow, and many undiscovered areas are still unreachable. So, is not enough technology just an excuse with more complicated reasons hidden behind it? Indeed, today's archaeologists have unprecedented technological means to excavate. With laser scanning, archaeologists can learn more about the underground structure without directly touching the site. With remote sensing and subsurface radar, they can detect the remains in the strata without damage, avoiding the damage caused by traditional excavation methods. However, despite the widespread application of these technologies, why is the excavation of the Sanxingdui site still slow? First of all, the Sanxingdui site is huge, and the unearthed items and relics are rich and complex. It does not have a relatively clear structure and hierarchy like the Egyptian pyramids. The Sanxingdui site is buried deep underground, and most of the cultural relics are scattered. When archaeologists conduct excavations, they must be careful to avoid damage to historical relics. More importantly, due to the looseness of the upper soil of the site and the problem of groundwater flow in different areas, the buried relics are often in a relatively unstable state, and the slightest carelessness can cause the destruction of historical relics. Secondly, although modern archaeological techniques have helped scholars to more accurately detect underground structures, the uniqueness and complexity of Sanxingdui's cultural heritage are still puzzles that cannot be solved entirely by technological means. The unique metal alloys used in Sanxingdui's bronzes, gold masks, and other items are even different from the technical level of the Central Plains at that time. These technological advancements have instead caused new troubles for archaeologists. The hidden history and technology behind these cultural relics and sites may be beyond the scope of current academic understanding. But in addition to technical difficulties, the stagnation of Sanxingdui's excavation may also be related to cultural and political sensitivities. If Sanxingdui's civilizational origins contradict traditional Chinese perceptions, the history it reveals may lead to political and cultural controversy. This issue may be one of the fundamental reasons why many scholars are cautious about continuing excavations. The traditional understanding of Chinese civilization has always emphasized the dominance of the Central Plains culture. Especially the birthplace of Chinese culture is generally regarded as the Yellow River Basin. However, the discovery of Sanxingdui, especially the many exotic elements contained in it, such as huge bronze figures, artistic styles that are very different from the Central Plains culture, and mysterious symbols of golden masks challenge this traditional cultural understanding. The relationship between the Sanxingdui civilization and the Central Plains is still unresolved, and it is difficult for scholars to define whether it is related to some branch of Central Plains culture or has a deeper connection with external cultures. If the origin of the Sanxingdui civilization really contradicts the traditional understanding of Chinese civilization, then it may represent the origin of a different civilization or the profound influence of a foreign civilization on the ancient Shu culture. In the face of this clash of cultural perceptions, continuing to dig deeper into the Sanxingdui ruins will undoubtedly bring more complex issues. It is more likely to trigger a major discussion about the origin of Chinese civilization, and even provoke sensitive issues of nationalism and cultural identity. In this context, do archaeologists need to be more cautious about further excavations of the Sanxingdui site? Perhaps, in order to avoid cultural and political oversensitivity, the excavation work of Sanxingdui will be particularly conservative. Whether continuing to dig deeper means confronting historical truths that may lead to cultural conflicts. This is a question worth pondering. In addition to the technical, cultural, and political complexities of the Sanxingdui excavation, a bold hypothesis has emerged that the Sanxingdui site is more of a warning than a relic of an ancient civilization. This hypothesis has caused much controversy, but it has also had a profound impact on some scholars and researchers. This hypothesis is based on the study of ancient civilization predictions. For example, the Mayan civilization's 2012 prophecy, which refers to the end of the world and the change of the stars, seems to have some connection with the mysterious symbol of the Sanxingdui site. This star change in the Mayan prophecy is not only about the changes of celestial bodies in the universe, but also a major turning point that human civilization is about to face. At the same time, the Hopi blue star prophecy also mentions a similar star shift and implies that such a change will bring about a global catastrophe. The Hopi prophecy depicts the arrival of a blue planet, symbolizing human contact with extraterrestrial civilizations and a major change in human history. Comparing these prophecies with the mysterious masks and sculptures of the Sanxingdui ruins, one can't help but have an association. Are these mysterious masks and sculptures a symbol of the great changes that ancient humans are about to come? Is the existence of the Sanxingdui ruins actually sending a warning about the contact of alien civilizations, about the turning point of human destiny? The mystical masks and bronze figures of the Sanxingdui site, with their exaggerated eyes and facial features, are often reminiscent of the symbol of the third eye, which echoes accounts of supernatural awakening in many ancient civilizations. For example, the third eye in India symbolizes awakening and the acquisition of wisdom, which is often associated with cosmic wisdom beyond human perception. Do the giant eyes of the Sanxingdui bronze figures convey a similar meaning? Are they reminding us that in the future humanity will enter an unimaginable era, facing the awakening of new wisdom and technology? In addition, the layout of the Sanxingdui site itself and the unearthed items also have obvious celestial characteristics. Many researchers have found that many symbols and patterns in the cultural relics of Sanxingdui are related to astronomy and astrology. These symbols may represent the ancient Shu people's understanding of the universe and celestial bodies, or they may indicate the arrival of some kind of astronomical event. This celestial change is very similar to the star change mentioned in the prophecies of the Maya and Hopi tribes, and seems to reveal that humanity is about to usher in a profound change, whether it is contact with alien civilizations or a major turning point in human destiny. The mystery of the Sanxingdui ruins is not only reflected in the strange faces and symbols of the unearthed items, but also in the information of interstellar contact it contains. Some scholars have suggested that the existence of the Sanxingdui ruins is closely related to the contact of alien civilizations, and even believe that the ruins themselves are some kind of signal or warning of alien civilizations on Earth. Are these warnings related to the laws of the universe that we have not yet deciphered, or the major turning point that humanity will usher in the future? This undoubtedly adds more layers to the mystery of Sanxingdui. With the continuous advancement of science and technology, what kind of discoveries will the further excavation of the Sanxingdui ruins bring? Will it really be, as some scholars say, that further excavation will allow us to uncover the history of contact with alien civilizations? Or will we never be able to reach the hidden forbidden area? The mystery of the Sanxingdui site has attracted the attention of countless scholars and explorers around the world. With the continuous advancement of technology, future excavations may rely on more advanced technologies, such as three-dimensional imaging, laser detection, and other means, to further reveal the buried cultural relics and relics. However, will these discoveries help us solve the mystery? Or will they make the site even more mysterious and even lead us to face deeper puzzles? Perhaps the real value of the Sanxingdui site lies not in whether it can be fully revealed, but in the eternal mystery it carries. It is a wonder of human culture and a symbol of ancient civilization, but its mystery may be destined to be completely unsolved. Each level of excavation may lead to more mysteries than a clear answer. The Sanxingdui site may become an eternal forbidden area, waiting for future generations to continuously explore, interpret, and draw wisdom from it. The mysterious mask of Sanxingdui. Uncovering the unknown, the Sanxingdui site is an extremely important discovery in the history of Chinese archaeology. Since its first excavation in the early 1980s, the artifacts unearthed in this ancient land have astonished the world. Bronze masks, gold scepters, exquisite bronze utensils. They show not only the splendor of an ancient civilization, but also countless mysteries. The shapes on these masks, which seem to come from another world, are still impossible to fully understand. What was the force that prompted ancient people to create such bizarre works of art? Are they related to some kind of alien civilization? Or are they an early manifestation of the limits of human intelligence? The answer to all this seemed to be found only in every inch of soil at the Sanxingdui ruins. On the bronze masks of the Sanxingdui ruins, we can see some puzzling features. Whether it is exaggerated eyes, huge ears, the high-raised forehead, or even some bizarre expressions, their forms are completely different from the artistic style of any ancient civilization we know. They seem to be works of art created by some intelligence beyond human understanding. How could the ancients carve such elaborate and complex masks? What do these masks symbolize? Some scholars speculate that these masks may represent the faces of gods, and the Sanxingdui civilization may be a civilization that has direct contact with gods. Others believe that the shape of the mask may symbolize some kind of existence that does not belong to this world, or maybe the relic of some powerful alien civilization in ancient times. But no matter what kind of explanation, it is not enough to completely solve the mystery of Sanxingdui. Behind these unearthed cultural relics are the wisdom of ancient civilizations, which are far beyond our comprehension. Because of this, Sanxingdui's masks and cultural relics are not just works of art. They are more like a window through which we see a mysterious and unknown world. If these bronze masks and golden scepters are indeed relics of extraterrestrial civilization, they will reveal an unprecedented historical truth to us. Did the ancients ever have some kind of connection with extraterrestrial visitors from the starry sky? Were these mysterious cultural relics some kind of token that aliens gave to the civilization of Earth? Many of the artifacts unearthed at the Sanxingdui ruins are exceptionally delicate, especially the unique golden mask, whose craftsmanship and details make one wonder if more advanced technology played a role in it. This kind of technology may not be mastered by humans on Earth. Some people speculate that the design concept of these artifacts is incompatible with the civilization on Earth at that time. Is this just a coincidence? Or maybe some kind of alien civilization has quietly arrived thousands of years ago, Sanxingdui's golden scepter also brings a lot of associations to people. Its shape is similar to the symbols of theocracy in some ancient civilizations, but it is also very different from the traditional scepter design on Earth. Its unique materials and craftsmanship, as well as the particularity of the unearthed location, make people wonder if this is really a relic from extraterrestrial. If it is really the product of extraterrestrial civilizations, does it mean that these civilizations have been in contact with humans for thousands of years? The history of mankind may be far more complicated than we imagine. The excavation of the Sanxingdui ruins has revealed an unknown ancient civilization. Its disappearance is deeply regrettable and makes people wonder, where did these ancient wisdom and technologies come from? Why did they quietly disappear in the long river of history, or even forgotten by the world? There is a view that the disappearance of the Sanxingdui civilization may have been due to some unknown disaster or external interference. Perhaps this civilization had been linked to some more powerful existence, maybe even an intelligent race from aliens. Many mysteries in history are often hidden in forgotten time and space. Over time, these memories have gradually been buried, and it is only today that we have the opportunity to reopen the veil of these mysteries. And the cultural relics of Sanxingdui may be the only witness to this lost history. When we stand in front of these bronze masks again, can we read more information from them? Do these relics tell of an unsolved relationship between ancient civilizations and alien civilizations? Will these mysteries be solved with more excavation and research? Or will they disappear forever in the depths of history beyond our reach? If Sanxingdui's masks are really relics from extraterrestrial civilizations, then what do they portend? Behind these strange masks, is there some kind of force that we cannot understand? Or is there some kind of unsolved fate of human civilization? Perhaps the true meaning of these artifacts is not limited to a certain era in the past, but points to a certain moment in the future. Do they mean that humans will make contact with extraterrestrial civilizations again at some point in the future? Or do these masks symbolize a rebirth of human civilization, a giant leap across time and space? In the dead of night, calm down and think about these questions. Perhaps you will find that Sanxingdui is not just an ancient site. It may be a symbol of some more profound destiny. And every artifact and every mask we see today may quietly tell us that the history of human beings is far more complex than we imagined. And our connection to the universe may be far beyond our current understanding. The ruins of Sanxingdui are an unsolved mystery, and these mysteries may never have a definitive answer. Every unearthed artifact carries countless unsolved mysteries, and every mask seems to send us some kind of unheard call. They are relics of the past and predictions of the future. They represent a deep connection between humanity, the world, and the universe that may only be truly solved at some point in the future. When you fall asleep at night, you might as well immerse yourself in these mysterious masks and thoughts about ancient civilizations. Perhaps, the moment you open your eyes, you may find that the veil of the whole world has been quietly lifted, and your relationship with this world has undergone some profound changes.